Thank you, Isabella. After Saturday's homicide, the police will be going back to 1996 to investigate up to 10 other cases that could involve Meza. A former forensic director and homicide detective for APD told me that the most difficult part of piecing together these old crimes is the time that has passed since then. Raul Meza's alleged crimes span over 40 years, with victims all the way from age 8 to 80. And even though time has passed, the detectives who worked the case never forgot.
There's many parts of it I'm sure I've forgotten, but there are other parts that remind you like it was last week.
After Saturday's homicide, police will be looking into over 20 years of cases involving Meza. Bruce Mills, who was a homicide detective on Meza's case in 1982, says to do that, investigators will be focusing on the similarities between the cases.
Certainly, you want to look at your unsolved cases, not just locally, but anywhere that fit that or have characteristics of this type of case.
Mark Gillespie, a former forensic director for APD, says that evidence will also be a large part of the investigation.
The key, I think, in many of these cases, especially with cold cases, are physical evidence.
But he says time can be the greatest issue when investigating evidence.
Evidence could be degraded, could be destroyed. Every time it's handled, you run the risk of contamination or loss of evidence.
So Gillespie says that bringing other investigators back could be an option. Investigators like Bruce Mills, who remember it vividly.
It's one of those, it's never out of your memory. I mean, if I happen to drive through southeast Austin, I recall the case.
Mills says that if they needed him to interview Meza or need his help, he would be willing.
I want to stay close to it to see this individual never have an opportunity to commit that type of crime again.
And staying close to the evidence in cases is exactly what police will be doing in the coming weeks. Now, the former investigators also noted that technology has increased greatly since the beginning of these investigations, so they are confident police will be able to solve these cases no matter how old they are now. And I'll send it back to you.